Good morning, everybody. And
Good
thank you
morning.
for day 2 of the 5-day marketing challenge. I know it's a lot of work in 5 days, but at the end of 5 days, you can probably go back to the calls or the videos and take a look at them and say, okay, what areas do I still need to improve upon? Because the client or avatar profile is an ongoing process. It doesn't really end after you only got one line in there. You just keep adding to it until it becomes very clear. And you can tell, like I was saying, once you do that, I forgot to say that once you complete that exercise, I pretty much guarantee 48 hours after, you will get a client with that profile that you created. And then if you got them and it's not somebody you want to work with, then you know you have to go back to your profile and do some editing. So, but anyway, that's I think it's quite cool. And then that way you get to practice and keep rolling along with that. So today I want to talk about it's what. We're going to work on the what today. So what I sent you a couple of examples of journeys that your client may take with you. The one that I designed for this class is William. William is a guy who's an artist. He really would like to spend his whole time creating artwork. He doesn't want to do any marketing. He doesn't want to hire a broker or artist broker because he thinks they're too expensive and all they do is cause him to fail. And he doesn't want to pay their fees. So he has to learn how to do his own thing. So what is it? I wanted William, like anybody else that signed up for this class, I wanted you to come and sign up for the class. So that was the journey of William to say, I'm struggling. I don't want to pay somebody else, but I do want to learn. And it's a good idea to learn anyway, because then you understand your client, you're going to understand what they want from you and what you're willing to offer. You may not be willing to offer, like Cozy's doing handmade crafts. Well, if they said to her, well, we want, can you go to the store and buy us a t-shirt and print this? She may say, no, I don't do that. I only make handmade crafts. So that would be not a match for a client for her. So basically that's what the who is about. And now the what is what journey is your customer going to, how do they find you? And then once you get them, what are you going to do to have them work with you or hire you or buy from you? So I thought we'd just talk a bit about, we'll go to, you can go find your tribe on Facebook groups. You can Google, like Google, so let's maybe, I'll do a screen share and we can kind of go to, we'll go to my screen share here and there we go. So you can see it's kind of busy, but anyway, we don't want this. I was doing some work before. So let's go to we'll just click new window and let's go to Facebook, for example. I don't know how you do this. Yes, I'm not very well set up here. Let's go file, new window. There we go. And we're going to go, I'm going to move this bar down below if I can. There we go. And we're going to go to Facebook. And so what groups would you find your customers at, or what kind of groups would you go to? So Bria or Chosi, what would you like to do? Welcome, Lisa. So
Well, I
go
just
ahead.
was going to say, I think For my particular customer, I don't think that I would necessarily find them on maybe Facebook groups, but if I were to go, sorry, excuse me, maybe like on TikTok or Instagram or maybe even Snapchat, like those platforms is probably where I would find them. I don't think I would necessarily find them on Facebook groups, just because the demographic probably tends to lean more on that platform.
Okay, so just for exercise purposes, let's do you have any fashion groups that you go to or have?
Yeah, some like that I use to keep up with what's going on in the industry. Do you want to use that as an example?
Well, just let's just okay, let's just Google fashion. What kind of fashions are they? What do you want to call them? Ladies fashion?
Yeah, we could try ladies fashion. I know
Okay.
like if you can't find anything for that one in particular, I know like there is a particular niche of women that are like into homemaker type of
Mhm.
fashion. So
Okay,
that might
so
be a good
there's
time, but
okay, so what you want to do is come up with 10 categories under Google. We're just doing Google right now. So ladies fashion. So these are the people that are coming up with ladies fashions, right? So I noticed most of them are stores, probably not really up your thing. So you need to fine tune it. So we might go to what we were saying, ladies fashions is homemakers. So you see somebody shopping for dresses. So designer clothes. So there's still kind of thing, but the idea is if there's a 46 best housewife outfit ideas, it's on Pinterest. So she's making her own thing and she's posting about it, right? So if you see something like this, you might pin it, you might like it, or just make a note of it. Oh, okay. She's designing things. Okay, she has a website. Let me go to her website and check it out. She has 7.46 followers. So you might find something like that. So the idea is to take a look at all these, I was shocked by this, but small businesses hang out on Facebook. I would think that they would be, it depends, I guess, your category, but so they would be, besides Facebook, they'd be on Pinterest and Instagram, like you were saying, and that type of thing. Um,
I would like to also maybe suggest that she could look at like local designers in
yeah,
her area because that's a good one to go to because everybody's trying to get their stuff out. So
yeah,
look at local designers as well.
yeah. So we're on Instagram, we're on my account, but um, so you could go to all these groups. The idea what I'm asking you to do is do that is go find them and see what questions they're asking, see what things they're interested in knowing more information about, and that'll help you come up with um besides the products that you are making, but what kind of things do they ask you? Like, I'm looking for this kind of design. Do you make this kind of design? And so with the groups and things, the idea is to for the groups is that um like Scora, you can go to Scora and ask a question and go and say, I make if you were having a handmade item or designer, what kind of things are of interest to you? And they can answer you. And then if they answer you, you know that there is an interest, right? But if there's no answer, you might have to rethink about, okay, what am I offering? What do people want? Because it's really easy to say, I'm making this and I'm selling it. Okay, now you have to go find the customer rather than doing some research to find the customer to see what they're interested in so you can sell that. And then later you can offer your own design. So that's just it's just some of the things that that are important. So chat. Yeah. So, just help each other out here. So it's just kind of my thing is that take a look. I guess I have to stop share. Stop share. There we go. So the idea is to take a look at other groups where you're going to find your customer. So you're looking for your customer. So if she's a spiritual woman, where does she hang out? And go find out where she is and what kind of questions she has. And are you willing to provide that kind of service? So you want to make sure your what is, what are you offering? And are they really interested in what you're offering? Rather than trying to create a product. Like, for example, I might be interested in just doing lots of training for small businesses, but they may not be interested in the topics I'm offering. So I have to stop and think, okay, what kind of services or information do they want to know about to offer that rather than what I want to offer? So this is something to think about. So your what journey does your customer have to do to come work with you? So what do you do right now to get them to buy from you? Anybody have any things that they do? No. Okay.
Well, I'm not I'm not currently in the stage of selling, but I guess if I were in that process right now, I think I would try to find, utilize ad what is it, using ads to kind of get people's attention, to kind of get people to know more about my brand initially before I even start selling. So I don't know if that's a good idea.
Okay, so do you have a newsletter? Are you starting a newsletter to collect emails? Because
Yeah, I would definitely
because the money is in your list. It's not in whatever you think it is. It's not in selling your product. You have to start somewhere. So start with creating a newsletter. So what you want to do is provide maybe a checklist, a PDF about, or an ebook, or something that maybe you can create. You can really easily do that. Or if you want people do webinars, you want to offer something that is get them to come to your webinar. Learn how to do this. Or maybe it's just a class. Learn how to, there was a gal yesterday was on the call and was, helping young girls with their manners and etiquette. So she could probably come up with a checklist of things that they need to consider doing. And if they don't know how to do it, then they can come next time to buy her workshop.
One of the things that I do to pull in the girls is I host a once a year pageant.
Mm-hmm.
And so the girls come to the pageant. They do have like 6 weeks of training before. Then we have a full-fledged pageant. And then after that, we do the etiquette classes. So that's how I've tried it out and it works.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to get the girls into the etiquette classes, and hosting the pageant is a good way to pull them in for myself.
Right. So do you start with the pageant first or the manners first?
Pageant first.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, so that's a great idea. So you have this, is it like a contest or just an event? They can, they add their name to the list and they sign up to be in the pageant?
No, it's a contest, but what's different with the pageant, everybody gets a crown and sash. That way I don't leave anybody out. And so by everybody getting a crown and sash, I've gotten all the girls that are running, if it's 10 or 15 girls, all of them join the etiquette classes after they get their crowns and sashes.
Yeah, okay. Okay, great. Great idea. So how often do you do that?
The pageant is once a year.
Oh, okay, okay. So do you get enough clients out of that pageant to hold you for a year? What else do you do?
Then we work, and like I go out and network within the community.
Mm-hmm,
And so when I find different organizations that are in need of volunteers,
mm-hmm,
that's what keeps the girls busy and keep them actively involved in the etiquette classes as well. Because you need to know how to act, walk, talk, speak before you go out. And so that's where the classes are a benefit. And then what they learn, they get to go out into the community and use it so they
right,
don't forget it.
right, right. Yeah, no, that's great. You sounds like you really have a well-developed program already, like how to get them in the door and how you continue to work with them on an ongoing basis.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So what else? You don't have to call me ma'am. It's
Oh,
just
sorry.
Marion.
It's habit.
I know it's a habit, I get guys say, yes, ma'am. Oh, no, I'm not a ma'am. Just call me my name. But yeah, so I love your idea, Lisa. And so do you work with other nonprofits to do other pageants or is this just your thing?
This is just my thing.
Okay. Have you considered working with other nonprofits to that work with youth to have their own pageant? And then you get those clients?
I thought about it, but my pageant again is a little bit differently. A lot of pageants are into like the bathing suits, and they have a lot of contestants, but only one or two contestants get a crown, and then the other girls have paid all their money to run, and they walk away with nothing. And I
Right.
think that's hard on your self-esteem to put that kind of effort and energy into running, and then you go home with nothing. So that's what's different that sets my pageant uh, different from the other ones, because everybody gets a crown and sash with me.
Right, right. But what I'm thinking is that you could create a program that you could get into other nonprofits or other, not even nonprofits, other companies that, work with children and they need to get their manners done, right? So you can just maybe run the program with them, partner with them. That's what
I
I'm
am,
saying. Collaborate with them.
and thank you for that. It has crossed my mind, and where I would go with that would be the daycare centers that have school age children. A
Right.
lot of kids are in daycare like this summertime, so a lot of them are in there all day. So by
Mm-hmm.
partnering up with the daycare centers that have school age children, that's a niche that I'm looking at and looking into to grow the pageant as well.
Right, right. No, I think it's a great idea and you can keep expanding that so that you always have people that their parents, like you were saying, the mothers and the child and the girl will come up, sign up and do a class with you, whatever your class is about at that time, right?
Yes,
Yeah, great, great idea. So you also have a newsletter, Lisa?
I
Or
do
way
not.
Okay, so I would suggest that you start creating your newsletter because you already have people. Just ask them if you can add them to your newsletter and you just add them. And then so the platform you would use for that would be a third party, like there's Constant Contact, there's MailerLite, there's MailChimp. I wouldn't recommend MailChimp. MailChimp is more advanced, but I could come up with a list and send them out to you and just get a free account. And then from there, you would start working out, sending out a newsletter once a month or maybe you know, every 2 weeks. It depends, but at least
That
once a
would be
month.
great. That would be greatly appreciated.
Yeah, and then from there, you want to stay in touch with all the people that have taken a class with you, right? And then you
Yes,
want to be able to ask them to give you referrals, right? You've taken
yeah,
a class, you've had a great experience. Could you please refer? And then maybe there's a prize for referring. You can either some people usually pay out money, but instead for the girls, maybe you give them another class, or maybe you let them audit a class, or maybe you find something, a separate class just for them. when
Okay,
they refer.
thank you.
So anyway, so that was I would highly recommend it. Anybody that's in the class today is setting up a newsletter, an opt-in, even if you just create a little tip. Because to get their emails, you have to give them something. So what value can you give them for them to want to opt into your newsletter? So it might be just a checklist. It might be a tip book. It may be a video recording that you're teaching a class and you send out to them. It might be, I guess Sandy dropped out. It might be, it could be anything. It's a free offer that you're offering somebody to opt in into your newsletter. Okay. So, so that's your what. How do they work with you? How can you start building a client list, or not even a client list at this point in time? Right now, it's just about building a list of people that are interested in what you have to offer. They're interested and they like your value that you offered. So they're going to jump in on your list and see what else you're offering, because you really have to reach out to people about 6 or 7 times before they really start wanting to buy from you, unless it's something they really wanted at that time because you spoke to them before, or that they heard about you, or a friend referred them to you, or something like that. So until that happens, you have to keep being in service and offering value to them. Like and then you want to keep sending them emails. So some of the ideas about you have to have some sort of email. I'll send you some emails you can start sending out to your people so that they get to know you as a person, not just what the business that you do. Like you tell them like who you are, what lessons you've learned, how did you get into doing what you're doing. Share that a bit with your customers and be vulnerable, because people are always interested in other people, about how they got to where they are, right? And that type of thing. So that's it's anything to do about what are you doing to attract your clients. So yesterday is the ideal avatar client. So you have to figure out that. When you got that figured out, that's an attraction factor. And then number 2 is what are you doing to get them to sign up on your list? And I don't usually get into this part of it, but I also recommend you have a blog. You can do a newsletter, and then or you can do a blog post, and you send them your blog posts. That's another one too. I always think a blog is a client magnet. So the more content you share about your expertise or events that are happening in your community, or things that you're involved with in the community, then you're going to have more people want to say, I want to jump in and know more about them. Also, another one is about networking, getting out there and networking with your community. Like Chamber of Commerce always have networking events going on. So you can go and join them and go meet your local community, find out who they are, and see who would be interested in your product or service. Find out what they would be interested in and make a note of it. And you might find people you could collaborate with as well. Like if you are making handmade goods, Bria, maybe Josie and you could get together because she's making handmade bags. So maybe there's some sort of collaboration that could happen there between maybe you'll discover you have the same client base. So that was the other thing. Find people that have similar or same client bases as you and collaborate with each other. And that's how you'll also grow your business. So think about all the what's. What can you do to attract more people to you? So that's lesson number 2 today, is figuring out and where to find them. Because I know one of the girls asked me yesterday where to find them. So like I said, you're gonna search your Facebook groups and find out who are doing their certain handmade goods, designer clothes, classes, things that you want to offer in your services of value. So you want to find these groups, and when you want to join them, and then you don't want to be selling any of your products at this point in time. All you want to do is engage with them, answer questions, ask questions, and let people get to know you. And then that's another way of getting people to want to come see what's going on with you and your business and what you're offering. Same thing with, if you Google, find the top 10 things on Google that you're interested in. Who's your customer? Find out, who they are. Another one is called, wordtracker.com. They allow you, I think 8 to 10 free searches, on there. So you could go on there and just put in a couple of words or your client profile or something and find out how many people are actually searching for their keywords. So your keyword would be what, business, handmade goods. Okay, find out how many are searching for that. And that'll also help you when you're online, doing your online marketing. Quora. Quora is a Q&A discussion platform. You could go in there and ask a question, see how many people respond to your question, and kind of thing, go on like that as well. So that's basically your homework, is to really just find out what you do. Do you want to get it started a newsletter? What are you going to offer for that email, for that person to give them your email? So I'll send you a list of possible places you could go and get a free account, and then think about what you're going to offer for them to exchange their email with your offer. Any questions?
No,
I'm good.
no, I found this class very helpful. I have no questions at this time.
Okay, okay. Yeah, so that's kind of your homework for today, is think about the what. How can I get people to check me out? How can I get people to sign up for my newsletter? Just start with the newsletter. You don't even need a website or anything right now at this point in time. You just need something really simple you can get started with before it gets so overwhelming and confusing. And then you're going, what? I can't keep up with all this. So you want to be sure that you just start, if you're just starting out, make it simple, but make it very clear so people understand you want them to come to you for whatever it is that you want them to look for you for. Okay. I think that's it. Any questions? There's no questions? Nobody wants to be on the hot seat?
I
Like
took
Lisa was.
notes, so I'm good.
Okay, great. So I'll see you tomorrow. And when are you going to do all of this? So anyway, we'll talk to you all tomorrow. Thanks very much for joining it back again today, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Have a
Okay.
good day, everyone. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.